Hey everyone, Ben here and welcome back to Race Room. This week we're in the World Touring Cars at Laguna Seca for a 15-minute sprint race. I've put the car in P9 of a pretty stacked field of 25, and I've got to say I'm really looking forward to this one. And the lights are out, we're underway, and I just misjudged the start slightly. I don't get up into second gear early enough. I'm going to lose 2 positions off the line, but that's okay. There's all to play for here at a very crowded track. One driver's round, and we get drilled from behind. And oh my goodness me, we're drifting right away across the track. I can't believe we haven't been collected by somebody else. But that has turned this race on its head. We're slipping all the way back to the rear of the field, 23rd of 25 drivers. Let's see what happened there. You can see slow off the start here on the replay, and then we have to just get on the brakes to avoid the car spinning across the track, and we get absolutely smashed into from behind. That's the Cupra of Gutline that we're riding on board with now, and fair enough, he's unsighted, but that's a bit ridiculous, to be honest. At some point you have to accept you're racing in the pack. You can't go full tilt. And then on board with Reich, you saw me there skidding across the track. Unbelievable not to collect more cars, but this was a major incident at the beginning of this race. Look at the carnage throughout the field. I managed to get going again though. We're still on lap 1 here. I've literally just rejoined the track. I'm in 23rd position, and in the cockpit now I'm really thinking, okay, well look, I'm not probably going to get into the top 10 here, but let's have some fun in this race. And already I'm approaching into the middle section of this lap. I'm going to get one of those places back. Relatively easy pass down the inside. Maybe the other driver there carrying some damage. Now it's eyes forward. I'm not actually that far behind the pack of cars up ahead. So if I keep my head down, if I'm just a bit careful through this opening lap, maybe there's going to be some opportunities to capitalise on either driver mistakes, or hopefully I should be a bit quicker than the drivers at this part of the pack, because after all I did manage to qualify in the top 10 of this race. As we're coming through the final sector of the lap then, I'm already just got my gaze to the horizon to just make sure nothing kicks off through this final set of corners, and already the driver up ahead has gone wide there through the right hander. I'm going to be bold on the brakes down the inside, hope that I can get the car turned in. He gives me space on the inside, and that is another position gained there on the final corner of the first lap. We're up into 21st position, and I'm not too far behind at all the pack of drivers up ahead. Down into T1 we go then, and again just being a little bit careful. The car's still not fully up to temperature here, and the track is crowded, and yeah, there's a concertina because another driver is round. Carnage still playing out in the early stages of this race, and another driver there slow through the right hander. His nose was chopped off by Belima up ahead, and it's actually going to be Belima that we come back to. But before that, here's my pass at the end of lap 1 to get up into 22nd position in this race. A clean pass there. But look at the Cupra of Belima here. He's going to get into the side of the Honda. They're going to be pretty well stuck together, and then he's going to rejoin right the way across his nose. That inevitably then causes a bigger collision, and then it was Belima there who ended up cutting across the driver ahead of me, and that gave me another position. But now I'm on the rear wing of the Cupra driver up ahead. He's gone in wide through the left-hander. That's going to give me a chance to get clean past before we're into the uphill section. That's going to be critical, because this corner coming up here is not one you really want to be going side by side in. So now we're up into P17. The position's starting to come towards me. I'm approaching Sanchez up ahead as we get into the braking zone for the corkscrew, and Belima misjudges it and he drills me from behind again. That's the second time in this race a driver has ploughed into our rear bumper. Thankfully we're able to keep going. That could have been a much bigger accident. He could have catapulted me off into the sand or the barrier there. No harm done, it seems, and I'm able to continue my pursuit of Sanchez up ahead as we get into the final corner of the lap. Try and take a nice tight line. Somebody's been for an excursion into the sand there off to the right hand side, and you can see looking up ahead on the track a big gaggle of cars. So there are potentially more positions to be gained here if I can now just get into a bit of a rhythm and get back up to my pace that I know I've got on this combination. And yes, look at that, Sanchez wide through the first corner. I'm going to get a better exit there, but not enough to get alongside him. And again, look at that, I'm just taking a slightly wider entry. I'm going to try and get on the gas earlier than he does, and I do have some momentum coming out of the corner, but not enough, again, to get alongside. I think a driver up ahead, De Silva, was up on 2 wheels there, and yes, he's rejoining the track up ahead. This could get interesting then into the middle sector. I'm going to head down the inside here. We're nearly 3 wide. I just had to be a bit cautious there on the brakes, not sure what Sanchez and De Silva up ahead were going to do, and being third in a train of 3 cars, not easy through this section of track. I've misjudged the left-hander there, a little bit lucky not to clout that curb on the inside, but further up there ahead, there's even more drama as Middleton gets it wrong at the corkscrew. He's absolutely ploughed into another driver. We're going to pass Middleton off to the right-hand side, and here's the other driver on the left-hand side. That's Coombs, who we managed to get past as well, so 2 more positions gained, and meanwhile we were able to get through the corkscrew clean. Sanchez has passed De Silva, so now it's De Silva's Honda up ahead that I'm going to be challenging next. I'm in P15, he's in P14. A driver there peeling off into the pit lane. I'm down the inside of De Silva. There is no time to breathe in this race. We're side by side on the corner exit. I'm going to make up more positions as drivers are in the pit lane. I'm now in P13. De Silva just now getting squeezed out on the home straight here. We're going to be on the racing line into T1. Maybe though, that was a mistake. It's afforded De Silva some room down the inside. I'm going to make another mistake there in not shifting down to first gear, and it ends up taking me off track. I'm now going to get challenged from behind again. I'm going to hold my nerve, give him enough space on the inside, but carry more momentum around the outside. And we flash forward later on the same lap, and I'm now going to try and challenge De Silva again. Sanchez is clearing off a little bit here. He's nearly 2 seconds up the road now, and you can see we're nose to tail coming through the corkscrew there. I don't really want to challenge through this section of track. I'm really thinking about trying to get a pass done into the final corner of the lap, but I'm slightly wide. I have not set this up well. I'm not really close enough to make a lunge down the inside. I'm now going to have to think about T1 as the next best opportunity. And again, my launch out of the final corner there, not that great. De Silva quicker off the corner, and it looks as if he's going to have enough space to defend comfortably into T1 here. In fact, he's not going to have to defend at all. As long as he hits his braking, gets the car turned in, he'll hold position here, but he hasn't done that. He's carried too much speed in. That is going to give me a chance to hit the apex, get past clean, and I'm back up into P13 here as we come into the middle of the lap. He's going to have a little nibble down the inside. Wow, that was nearly a race-ending move there. I just floored the throttle, and that corrected the car. Wow, I'm not sure there really was realistic space there for him to get into down the inside. It was a bit of a late lunge. He's come off much the worse from that. An unfortunate one, because it was a good race between us there. But we've moved on now to lap 8. I've caught back up to the rear wing of Sanchez up ahead in the Cupra. Again, he's wide through T1. I'm consistently quicker than drivers in this part of the field through T1, and it's giving me a big advantage, a big opportunity through this race. Unfortunately, I've missed my apex on the next corner. That's cost me a little bit of time. I just followed the driver up ahead there on his line, and that's always a bit of a risk when you're in traffic. You end up forgetting your own braking points and reading the car ahead too closely. I've got to just hold my nerve here, do what I know is the quickest set of lines through these corners, exactly like that, through the left-hander. That's going to give me the high ground here. Now, I've got a choice to make. Do I go for this move down the inside through this corner? We do, and we do hold the move as well. Credit to Sanchez there. If he hadn't relented on the outside, that could have been a big accident for both of us. But I think in my defence, I was absolutely right the way alongside. I had the corner, essentially. Yeah, I'm more than far enough alongside to make this move stick. Thankfully, Sanchez realised that he didn't run it out wide for his own race. He could have been off into the gravel had he not been sensible there, and a good overtake. Now we're on to the final lap, and I gained a good chunk of seconds on Rodera up ahead. Obviously, all of this fighting through the field, eventually it costs you time, and the gaps to the top 10 were just too great. But over a few laps, I was able to set a pretty good pace, at least to get up into the top 10. And if I'd had more time, I think I would have done it. But what we have managed to do is get onto the rear wing of Rodera up ahead. There is half a chance here, with half a lap left, that I might get one more position in this race. We're running P12, Rodera's in P11. I'm not probably going to be close enough to stick one down the inside of the corkscrew. The best I can hope for is that Rodera is feeling the pressure in the cockpit. He does close off the inside line. That will cost him a little bit of speed on exit. I held the normal racing line. Again though, we're still a few tenths of a second back from the driver up ahead. It's going to come down to the final corner this, and it's going to come down to how brave I'm feeling and how tough a defence he puts up. Here we go then. We've got a decent run through the penultimate corner. I'm going to shape to the racing line, then cut back at the last moment. Hopefully too much for him to respond to. And yes, it looks like we've got it done. I'm up into P11. I hope that wasn't too aggressive. I tried to throw him a dummy. It looks like it worked. Why is there a driver parked across the start finish line? I don't know, but we're able to come home in P11. Let's take a final look then at that last gas pass into the final corner, and yeah, it looks like that was clean and a well executed move to get up into P11. So this race had it all. It was frenetic, it was chaotic, and considering what happened before we even reached T1 on lap 1, I'm pretty happy with an 11th place finish. You owe it to yourselves, if you own RaceRoom, to try this combination out. It's great to see drivers filling out the grid. The touring cars are wonderful on RaceRoom, and alongside trying it out for yourself, make sure you check out one of the videos on screen if you've enjoyed this race. I think you'll really enjoy them as well.